Omaha, y'all gonna make some noise for Bud Crawford?
I like to thank everybody. I just know, the caliber of fighter that Errol is. Just like I know the caliber fighter of Tim. I think both of them have taken a lot of damage in their career so far. But I just think, Errol skill-wise, just edge.
I couldn't think of a better scenario. He's a great fighter. I'm a great fighter. This fight, is happening now. I think it's happening at a great time. Terence is my dancing partner. I feel like we're going to make each other great. I want to, show everybody that I'm back and I'm better than before.
Stop whatever you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of thing that gets channels mysteriously deleted. And I need you to hear every single word, because the Errol Spence Jr. comeback story that everyone is celebrating is actually so much deeper, so much more layered.
Great, because we hold each other accountable. Like today, I'm like, man, nah, but he like, man, come on. I'm like, all right, let's go. And those are the moments that is defining in a fight, where those last rounds that your body is telling you no, but your mind is like, let's go. So it all worked.
Definitely, a long road to get to this point. Stuff takes time. My dad, he always say, man, he's so stubborn. Yeah, I'm stubborn, but my stubbornness, that's what got me.
And allegedly so much more carefully orchestrated than anything the boxing world is ready to admit. And it all starts with one man, one phone call, and one training camp that reports suggest may have quietly rewritten the entire power structure of professional boxing before a single punch was even thrown.
This is what my dad used to talk to me about when he used to watch fights 40 years ago, when you had Tommy Hearns and Ray Leonard and all the greats, the four kings, and people adored them because they're really competitive fighters.
It's one of them fights that would be talked about forever.
Because here's what they're not telling you on the highlight reels. Here's what the press conferences conveniently skip over. Terence Crawford, the man, the myth, the pound-for-pound ghost who materializes only to haunt champions, allegedly walked into Errol Spence's training camp, and what he saw reportedly stopped him cold. And I don't mean, oh wow, great sparring cold.
It's gonna benefit, my kids, my mother, my father, so I know it's not just me. And that's one of the things I had to realize again once the car accident and, certain things happened, and realize that it's not just me. I'm in there, not just me. I'm fighting for everybody, because everybody's sacrificing their own way.
And you gonna control.
And when it gets hard, I'll be like, man, I don't know if I can do this. But then I'll be like, my kids deserve better. Now I'm gonna keep working.
I mean, allegedly, the kind of sharp, focused, laser-guided version of Spence that Crawford has been quietly respecting since the amateur days, since the Olympic days, and that detail right there. That detail is the thing that should make every single person watching this video sit up straight, because Crawford doesn't just hand out compliments.
It's gonna come down to fortitude. He faced a lot of things that shows that he has the mental fortitude and the mental toughness. And I think that that's going to play a big role in Errol becoming undisputed.
It's going to dawn on me during fight night. I'm kind of like a worry freak. It's only your fault when somebody exploits you and bring out that weakness that you already knew you had, but you didn't change the results of it. Better than do it now and not have to worry about your legs getting tired in the fight, because the fight's too late.
Crawford hands out psychological warfare disguised as compliments, and fans online are absolutely losing it, trying to decode what he actually meant when he said Spence looks like he has what it takes to shock Tszyu, because shock is a very specific word.
Save you out there. You're on your own. If I miss a tackle, I got someone to get my back. If I drop the ball, someone can pick me up. If Earl drops the ball, that's over. It's over.
While his opponent seeks an edge high above sea level, Spence hunts for his in the searing Texas heat. He knows in the pick'em blockbuster ahead, the smallest of margins could tip the outcome.
It's just a tough, gritty gym. It's old school. If you can get through being in a 100-something degree gym, sparring and training, once you get in front of those bright lights.
Shock implies the world isn't ready. Shock implies something is coming that nobody has fully calculated. And allegedly, the entire training camp dynamic between Crawford and Spence is being described by insiders as less of a collaboration and more of a psychological stress test dressed up as friendship. And this is where it starts to get genuinely strange.
He doesn't stop. We spar like 12 or 13 rounds a day. He's a worker. He understands like what it's going to take to be successful.
That's why he's the best coach in boxing, because he don't try to pamper me. When I look like, he gonna say I look like, I don't care how big you get, ain't nobody get pampered, and he gonna critique me like I'm a grown man. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
Real. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
That's how my best coach has been.
Social media people telling you how great you are. You ain't got nobody telling you, hey, tighten up. That's how you fall off. That's how you get up there and drop down.
Breaking now, online speculation is suggesting that the extreme Texas heat training sessions aren't just about conditioning. Fans are theorizing that training in brutal, almost unreasonable heat is a deliberate mental reset, a way of essentially burning the old Spence down and forging something new in conditions that would make most professional athletes tap out before lunch.
Big fish. I'm the shark in the ocean. They'll put me in there with other sharks. I want my fans to see that I'm facing a real champion, a real fighter who's just as hungry as me, the big fish. If I lose, it would be because he's better than me. It wouldn't be just because I didn't train 100% or I wasn't focused. I feel undestructible. I just feel like another fighter.
And Spence himself has been reportedly framing this entire comeback not as a return, but as a resurrection. And those are two wildly different things. A return means you pick up where you left off. A resurrection means something died and came back changed. And the emotional layer here, because oh yes, there are emotional layers. Spence has allegedly opened up about fighting not for titles, not for legacy checkboxes, but for his family, for something deeply personal that he's using as fuel.
Spence fan.
I'm right.
Like people always thought like they thought I didn't like him and all that. I'm a Spence fan.
No,
like when we the build up, I'm like, man, hey, let me get your autograph. You know what I mean? Because I watched you come up. I'm older than you, but I watched you, rooted for you when you was in the amateurs, when you was in the Olympics, all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like you came when I fought in Dallas and Arlington. You was there watching me fight. You know what I mean? It's okay to say you a fan. Right. You know what I mean? Oh, it's okay. Like I was a fan of Spence. Like I'm still a fan. I hope he do well.
Reports suggest that this emotional rerouting has made him simultaneously more dangerous and more unpredictable. And unpredictable is the last word Tim Tszyu wanted to hear, attached to the name Errol Spence Jr. Because here's the thing about Tszyu that analysts are quietly whispering.
I don't know what to expect as far as his eyes. I haven't seen him in the sparring session. I haven't seen him in anything in the gym. I've seen him in the gym. I know he's been training, but I haven't seen him. So I can't say like his eyes and reflexes. I can't say what they're gonna look like. But I know his mentality is, I got work to do. So, you know what I mean? When Tim Tszyu said, well, you didn't even win my hand, I don't got it again. We get ready to fight. That let me know that Errol Spence is in the right state of mind. He understands he got work to do, pain to put in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like it. I think Tim Tszyu is looking at it like a lick, like he think Errol.
And I want you to pay attention here because this reframes everything. Allegedly under sustained pressure, Tszyu has a breaking point, a specific ceiling where the pressure becomes too much and the machine starts to crack. And Spence's entire camp is reportedly being built around finding that ceiling and pushing straight through it, using size, using a southpaw style that already scrambles conventional game plans.
I'll be successful, and then what does Tim have to do to be successful?
Tim got to come out and be aggressive with a jab and not getting caught up in little arguments where they going back and forth with each other. You know, if they trading, they sitting there trading back and forth, they either one of them got a shot. But whoever's being a little bit smarter than the other, I think has a chance. I think that's how this fight goes. I don't think Errol Spence just going there and just bully Tim Tszyu. But I think it'll be spots where he could play bully. I don't think Tim Tszyu could go in there and just do what he want to Errol, but it's going to be spots he can get off. You know, whoever's
using a ring IQ that Crawford himself has called elite. And speaking of Crawford weight, hold on because I need to interrupt this right now with something that just completely recontextualized everything I thought I knew about this situation. Because Crawford reportedly framing this fight as historic level isn't just hype.
Like he told me, he's been moving, he's been active. It hasn't specifically been boxing, but in his mind, and I'm inclined to agree with him. I've been moving. I've stayed away from the negative vices that I've had, and I've just been with my family. He seems like he's in a good, positive space, and I think that for him, for some of us, this is work. For other people, like some guys really love this thing and can't live without it and all that kind of stuff. I think for Errol, it's like a little blend of both. Like he loves boxing. He loves this aggressive, physical nature of this sport. And on top of that, he get to make money doing it, you know? So I think that when he says, you know, well, when the question's presented to him, why are you here? The answer for him is, I can still do it and I still like it. So
it's allegedly a very deliberate piece of narrative architecture because if Spence wins and Crawford has publicly co-signed the comeback, Crawford's entire brand as the sport's greatest evaluator of talent gets a massive boost. And if Spence loses, well, Crawford already hedged beautifully by giving Tszyu his flowers too, calling both men tough, noting both have taken damage.
Against
Tim Tszyu.
Tim Tszyu, right, exactly. A common opponent, you know. So maybe we'll, even though I think Errol has said, I'm never fighting Keith Thurman, no matter what.
But if that's the case, if Keith Thurman beats Fundora, now you got 2 belts. There's nowhere else you can go.
Well,
they would have to fight each other.
Errol will have to get past Tim Tszyu,
right?
And that can be built, not mega fight.
No,
but
I would say that's a mega fight.
You would, yeah.
I would say that's a mega fight.
I think so. What do you think, Caleb?
If they both win with knockouts, Errol Spence wins with a knockout, Keith Thurman wins with a knockout, that's not a mega fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he's speaking to like the fact because of where they're in their careers.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, I think that's just as an exciting fight as any, regardless of who wins, between the Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu and whether Fundora and Keith Thurman. I mean, out of those 4 people, they're not.
But giving Spence the slight skill edge, which is the most masterfully crafted soft insurance policy I have personally ever witnessed in a press situation. And fans are saying online that Crawford is essentially playing 4-dimensional chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And that interpretation is sending the boxing community into complete chaos right now. Because it raises the question, is this really a training partnership?
Nah, hell no. Yeah, got the two-tone guts. Two-tone guts in that bad boy. Yeah, woo-hoo-hoo. Trying to tell y'all, he ain't playing with no damn Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu, listen to me. Tim still got some pop on his shots, but damn it, once I see a breaking point in a fighter, shit, that's all I need to see. And I know Spence see it too. Tim Tszyu, he got a breaking point, people. That's the problem with him, okay? He's had some traumatic experiences, not outside the ring, but inside the ring, for sure. When he got that cut on top of his head, all of that, oh man, he be having flashbacks. A headbutt or something, oh yeah, PTSD like a mug. You know, that's what I see. This is what I see with my eyes. This is what I see. I'm just letting y'all know, right? And he get in there with somebody that he far more superior than, then he look like $1 million. He flying on all cylinders. But the minute he get in there with like a Bakaram, Martazaliev, he get knocked out. You know? Knocked the hell out.
Or is this Crawford carefully positioning himself as the kingmaker of an era, the man who either validates Spence's comeback or stands elegantly apart from the wreckage? And either way, Crawford wins. And either way, the narrative belongs to Crawford, and I need you to sit with that for a second. I need you to actually sit with it, because meanwhile, Spence is out there in scorching Texas heat.
Spence is willing to punch with him. Yeah, and you know that, man. Tim Tszyu don't move his damn head for nothing in the world. And he got his ass whooped by a southpaw. And Spence is what? A southpaw. Now, I know y'all gonna be like, man, well, it's a lot of inactivity, Tim. A lot of inactivity. When you elite, and you working, and you sacrificing, and you running, and you training, and you weight training, and you doing what you need to do to get ready, you know, the time don't damn matter. Because guess what? The miles are already in it. The experience is already in it. There's a lot of character in this damn car that's being restored. A lot of character in Spence. And the last time he was in the ring, he showed his character. Yeah. So, that, hey, if that want to discount Spence or disqualify his abilities on just inactivity, go ahead. I'm not. Hell no, I'm not. No, I know what type of beast. Spence is the damn beast, a future Hall of Famer. And if you didn't know,
reportedly treating fight night like it will feel like a vacation compared to what camp has already put him through, and that psychological reframe, the idea that the hardest part is already done, is allegedly one of the most powerful mental tools a fighter can carry into a championship bout. And analysts are now saying the fight will ultimately come down not to power, not to youth, not to momentum, but to intelligence and adaptability. And that framing quietly and completely shifts the advantage towards Spence. Because Tszyu brings activity, Tszyu brings momentum, Tszyu has been active and sharp and hungry, but Spence brings something that cannot be manufactured and cannot be rushed. And
you know, it's a good little fight for him. Man been out 3 years. Tim Tszyu been active. Former world champion. You know, he ain't going to get nobody we don't know. I can't take nothing. I can't do nothing but salute him, take my hat off for him, and see how he go to work. I think he gonna be fine. He looked like he's in good shape. You know, he ain't look all out of shape. He looked like, you know, he looked good. You know, he looked mentally all there. And I mean, them little 3 years, like I said, I told him as soon as it happened, I said, okay, he had other stuff going on. You know, other stuff going on. That was a 5-year accumulation. A lot of stuff he did going through the rigmaroles with Bud, trying to figure out if they was gonna fight and building up his reputation and all this stuff. That was a lot. That was a lot. He been doing this since 2012. That was a lot, you know. So 3 years off, you know, he come in contact with life too. He come in contact with life too. It ain't just about us and what we want to do and what we want to see. He got a life. He in there, you know. So, he did right, and I'm glad to.
That thing is championship mindset built over a decade of elite competition. And here's where the narrative flips one more time. And honestly, I'm almost reluctant to say this out loud. Online speculation is suggesting that Spence comparing this fight to Leonard versus Hearns wasn't just a colorful soundbite. Fans are theorizing it was a specific psychological message directed straight at Tszyu, because Leonard versus Hearns wasn't just a great fight. It was a fight where one man had to dig deeper than he thought possible to survive, and ultimately the ring IQ of one fighter outpaced the raw pressure of the other.
I mean, tell me, how do you see the fight playing out?
I expect him to win.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. I expect him to win. Yes. I think Errol Spence, he can do more than what he's shown. He just don't have to. You know, I think he can do more than what he's shown. He just didn't ever have to. And aspect, like I'm saying, you know, this guy
Spence allegedly wants Tszyu to hear that comparison and spend every night before fight night wondering which role he's about to play in that story again. That is the kind of mental warfare that doesn't show up in the punch stats, but shows up in round 8 when legs start to go and decisions get made on instinct instead of preparation. And conditioning reports from camp are apparently confirming that Spence's entire endurance block has been specifically engineered to ensure he does not fade in the late rounds the way critics feared he might. After the layoff, every single element of this camp reportedly reverse-engineered from Tszyu's pressure style and designed to make Spence not just survive that pressure, but feed on it. And now here's the final twist, the thing that reframes this entire story from the very beginning. Allegedly, the reason Crawford has been a fan of Spence since his amateur and Olympic days the reason the respect between them runs so deep, is that Crawford allegedly sees in Spence the closest mirror of his own mentality the sport has produced. And that mirror is now being aimed directly at Tim Tszyu. And if that reading is correct, if this training camp has genuinely produced a mentally reset, physically rebuilt, emotionally fueled, Crawford-endorsed version of Errol Spence Jr., then this fight isn't really about activity versus experience at all. It's allegedly about whether Tim Tszyu walked into the most elaborately prepared comeback trap in recent boxing history without anyone in his corner fully realizing it until the first bell rings. And I'll leave you with this one question that is currently tearing boxing Twitter apart, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments right now. If Spence wins convincingly and Crawford is standing ringside smiling, did Spence just prove he's back? Or did Crawford just prove he's the most powerful man in boxing without ever lacing up his gloves?